Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Maurice Brown Comedy Show NBA edition as we break down the divisional round of the playoffs coming up. But we're going to break down the wild card results. First, going to bring out Aaron Too Tall Moore. What's up, Aaron?
What's going on, Mo?
Everything is going really good. I can't wait to dive into this conversation. I'll tell you that right now. We're going to bring out Antoine A.S. Stewart. What's up, Stu?
What's going on, Mo? What's up, Aaron?
What's going on, bro?
And Nephew from Port St. Lucie, Florida. Nephew, Caleb Lopes. Caleb, what's up?
What's up, Maurice? What's up, y'all?
What's good, Caleb?
What's up, man?
Hey, it's good to see you, Caleb. It's been a minute. Welcome back to the show. And I know you are in the middle of your school year. You got a lot of stuff going on. You're in the 8th grade now, right?
Yep.
8th grade, and you got a lot of important stuff going on. I get it. We had some football to take place this weekend, guys, as you are very well aware of. And I want to, the game that I want to start out with, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to hold off on doing that and just look at the results. We had the Houston Texans do a number on the Cleveland Browns. Everybody thought Joe Flacco was going to be the guy. Even now, people are saying, I think we could have done this without Deshaun Watson. We can continue to do this without Deshaun Watson. I don't know about all of that, but Stu, your thoughts on Houston demolishing the Browns 45-14?
Yeah, man. That was a impressive win. I called for the upset. I didn't know it was going to be in that fashion. I didn't know it was going to be that much of a dominating win. I thought it was going to be a good game and Houston would pull it out. But they straight up embarrassed the Cleveland Browns. Flacco looked his age. He looked 38. It's not both sides of the ball. They controlled the scrimmage. The game in the trenches, offense aligned, defense aligned. They were more explosive. They seemed like they were more prepared and better coached. Hats off to Cleveland. And I hope that C.J. Stroud gets the Rookie of the Year award.
Wow. You know what? I'm going to have to agree with you on that. I think he's the front runner without question for Rookie of the Year. Actually could even throw his name in the hat for MVP. Caleb, your thoughts on Houston 45-14 over Cleveland?
I mean, it was a great win by them. Another example of C.J. Stroud balling out, being a great QB for Houston. And I really didn't expect Cleveland to give out like that. I thought that this would be a closer game, like you said, Stu. But I have to give it to Houston. They went in there and they handled business, shut everything down, and didn't even give Cleveland or Joe Flacco a chance.
Aaron Too Tall Moore.
CJ Stroud played an excellent game. He really did, but especially for his first playoff game going into, he was just so mellow, so chill, and just let the game come to him. But you know who I'm gonna give the game ball to on this win?
Who's that?
Bobby Slowik, the offensive coordinator for the Texans, Houston Texans. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna get a game ball to him.
Okay.
He said, CJ, we're gonna stay away from TJ Ward and their corners. And Newsome, we're gonna throw the ball to wherever Newsome lines up. We're going to target him. And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
They target Newsome if you look at every single of them touchdown plays, it was on number 0.
Yeah.
CJ, that was the game plan. CJ saw 0 and he said, okay, we're going to 0. And then that was the game plan because he got burnt about 3 times for a touchdown. And that was a heck of a game plan. And I like the way he moved him out the pocket. He gave CJ options, run, throw it away, do whatever you want to do. He didn't make no mistakes, and he controlled the offense. And it was a hell of a game by CJ and hell of an offensive call by Bobby Slowick. And I just like the way that game was called. He said we're gonna stay away from Ward because Ward take chances, and we're not gonna put CJ in that position. And we're gonna let the game come in. We're gonna target Newsome, and he just aired it out against Newsome, and that was a great call, great game by both of them.
Well, you played college ball, Aaron Tutul. I'm going to defer to you on that. I've heard Bobby Slowick's name mentioned as a guy that called a great scheme, and they always were able to get a receiver running free, and CJ found him. But I think, Davis Mills can't do that. Okay, I think he's the backup. No. Matter of fact, Cleveland wins. If you put Davis, slow it. I don't want to take anything away from the offensive coordinator. He drew up a great game plan.
He did.
But there are not many guys out there that can execute a game plan like CJ Stroud. You got to have a trigger man.
True, but he didn't throw to TJ Ward. I mean, he didn't throw to him. They stayed away from him. They said, we'll keep him on the island. You can run over there and have fun, but we're not throwing to you.
Yeah,
and that was smart. And CJ took to the game plan. And you got to execute the game plan. I mean, he got to throw the ball. I mean, he got to throw the ball to the right spot. He got to read the defenses. I'm not taking away from nothing from CJ, but that was an excellent game plan, excellent game call, and CJ just executed it great, But telling him not to throw to, I mean, he had to tell him not to throw to CJ. I mean, if you're going to test one of the best corners in the league, I mean, 9 times out of 10, I think he's rookie of the year. Hands down, he's rookie of the year. Nobody else has it. But I just like the way Bobby called that game for CJ, and CJ executed it 100% great.
And again, Bobby Slowick's name has been thrown out there as calling up and dialing up a great game. And you, like I said, playing college ball yourself, you would be able to see those things much more than the average observer. Houston destroys Cleveland. Kansas City, and probably the biggest waste of time on a wild card weekend playing the Miami Dolphins. 26-7. Don't think we found out a whole lot about the Chiefs because the Dolphins are the Dolphins. Antoine, A.S. Stewart, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's I had picked the Chiefs winning that game. I expected a little more fight from Miami, but once I saw how cold it was going to be in the negative, I was like, the Miami boys don't want none of that. I saw that the wide receiver, what's his name? What's my boy named? Cheetah. Tyreek Hill, he went sleeveless. He was showing that, hey, I'm used to this weather, but his team wasn't. And it showed they looked flat. Tua looked average at best. They couldn't get the running game going, which in those conditions, you would think that's one thing they would try to get Raheem Mostert started, and it just didn't go. Patrick Mahomes, he played a decent game. It's not like he didn't do anything too special. He just took advantage of the opportunities that he had. They didn't throw any interceptions. They took care of the football for the most part, and they got an easy win against the Dolphins. Nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah, he went out there sleeveless, Tyreek deal. The only thing is he forgot to ask Patrick and Tua to switch places. So, Caleb, your thoughts? Kansas City 26-7 over Miami.
Yeah, I mean, I expected Kansas City to win this game too. Miami, I feel like they have the record to be a playoff team, but they're not ready to play any big dogs, any better teams, and that's what they showed to us in the wild card round. But as to the Kansas City Chiefs, I don't think they played great football, outstanding football either. They played a pretty mediocre game, and I feel like if it was against any other team in the playoffs right now, this game would have been a little bit closer, and it might not have even gone Kansas City's way.
Kansas City 26-7 7 over the Miami Dolphins. I throw it out to you, Aaron, Too Tall More. Was there any point in Miami showing up?
I mean, you got to play the game. You got to show up, but they lost this game a couple weeks back when they didn't lock up that home field advantage, that home field playoff game. You go into Kansas City in that weather, it's going to be tight for a team like Miami to come out on top. I think the biggest thing that Miami Dolphins and that organization need to see it's two of the future. You know,
Right.
I think they picked up his 5th-year option for next year, but they didn't sign him to a long term, and I don't think they should. I think they should play it out just to see, is he the future franchise quarterback for that organization.
So the Buffalo Bills boat race Pittsburgh 31-17. Are we shocked about the final results in this game, Stewart?
Not at all. Pittsburgh, I knew they were going to make it tough. It was close till Buffalo pulled away. I think that Mason Rudolph did a great job at least getting them to that point. We didn't expect Pittsburgh to even make the playoffs.
Right.
A couple weeks ago, we were talking about them potentially firing Mike, or him being on the hot seat. So he made it in the playoffs. They were one and done. They definitely have some work they need to do on both sides of the football, putting them in a better position to make a longer playoff run than what they just did. But no surprise there. Buffalo showed that they're the better team. Josh Allen had 3 touchdown passes, 203 yards. Nothing too crazy, but they did what they had to do to win. They were pretty much balanced on the run game. Over 100 yards rushing, almost 200 yards rushing compared with all the backs. So I think that Buffalo is starting to play more complementary football as far as running the ball and taking a little bit of the pressure off of Josh Allen, which is kind of balancing things for them. And it's been working for them moving forward.
And as you mentioned, Mason Rudolph did get the Steelers at least a playoff game. I'm sure Mike Tomlin went over to Mason at the end of the ball game and thanked him for it, and congratulated Mason and said, you'll be on the waiver wire in the morning. Caleb, your thoughts on this final 31-17 Buffalo over Pittsburgh?
I feel like Buffalo made it a little bit closer than they had to. Midway through that third quarter, it looked like Pittsburgh had a chance to come back. But Buffalo did their thing. They pulled away at the end, made sure Pittsburgh didn't do anything. And they got the win, and that's what matters. I feel like Buffalo, they have a chance to make a pretty deep playoff run this year. I'm liking, like Stu said, how balanced they are. They're really running the football way more. They're not leaning 100% on Josh Allen to make those deep passes, those risky throws. I feel like he's been taking what the defense gives him a little bit more these past few weeks. And I feel like Buffalo could get somewhere this year.
Aaron Too Tall More, will this win by the Bills put them in a position to make a run at the Super Bowl?
I think it does. I think that if they keep playing like that, they cause a couple turnovers. If they keep playing like this, I think they can make a run. I mean, I don't see no team in the AFC that they cannot beat if they come with their game. I mean, I believe they could beat anybody. They could beat Kansas City. They could beat anybody in the AFC.
Yeah.
Just which Buffalo team shows up. I mean, that's the thing that that was hindering them all regular seasons. Which one's going to show up? So they have a chance to make a run for it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they made it to the Super Bowl and made a run. I mean, it's wide open for anybody really in the AFC.
I think so, and this sets up a date next week with the Kansas City Chiefs in Buffalo. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Maurice Brown Comedy Show on Bog Radio in association with 24 Flicks and Radio QDX.com in Lucama, North Carolina, and KCHF TV 11 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. In the NFC, we go over to My boys, the Green Bay Packers, those are my guys. We destroyed the Cowboys 48-32, much to my surprise. I never would have seen this coming. I'll take it. Believe you me. Thank you, Dallas, for the late Christmas gift. I appreciate that. Wow. I didn't know you cared. Anyway, Antoine A.S. Stewart, your thoughts.
Man, y'all did that. Shout out to the Green Bay Packers for embarrassing the Cowboys on national television. I think the Cowboys fans are in hiding right now. I got a few on my list that I'm looking for, but I'm kind of trying to give them a break because I know they're hurting deep down inside. They thought they were going to make that push to the NFC Championship game, but it didn't work out in their favor. Jordan Love was throwing that thing all across the yard, 272 yards, 3 TDs, no interceptions. I told people, and Aaron is my witness. I was telling people all week long, Aaron Jones, not Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Jones. I said he is going to be the explanation mark that can cause a huge problem for the Cowboys. And he went off with 21 touches for 118 yards with 3 TDs, and the Cowboys could not stop the run. And it was just a beatdown from start to finish. And yeah, the Cowboys scored in cleanup time when it was basically over, and they just got some sympathy points. But other than that, Green Bay beat them down.
Yeah, and they're going to be hard to find, those Cowboy fans. You know, our boy Mounsey has a drone company. He may need to go find some of those people. They're hard to find. Caleb, your thoughts on this final score? Green Bay 48-32 over Dallas.
I mean, you can't sleep on Jordan Love anymore. You can't sleep, I'd say, on that whole Packers team. I feel they really put a show on, and I feel like we expected it from Dallas. They always manage to choke in the first round of the playoffs. It's what they do, and I feel like Green Bay they benefited a lot off of it, and now they really have a fire lit in them. And I feel like they're gonna be a pretty difficult team to beat for whoever's gonna play them next week. But kudos to them for getting the win over Dallas.
Aaron Too Tall Moore, is this the biggest choke job you've ever seen in any pro sport?
Yes. Yes, it is. But I'm not surprised because this is what they do. This is what they do. They've been doing it for the last 3 years. In the season, 12-5. The Tampa Bay win, they won a couple years ago in the playoffs. I don't count that. Tampa Bay squeaked in the playoffs. Next week, I believe they lost to the San Francisco 49ers. I believe so. But this is who they are. Why are we surprised? This is fool's gold. I've been telling people all year. It's fool's gold. They're going to screw up just like they are. Stephen A. been saying it too. Just wait. They go screw up.
Yeah.
And they did. They looked like they didn't know what the heck was going on out there. But I'm not surprised. I'm glad it happened. If I knew they weren't gonna get past the San Francisco 49ers at all. So I'm just glad that it opened some things up in the Jerry world. This is the truth. I thought about this after the game. I thought about this morning, actually. Dallas had a worse season than we had.
How's that?
The expectations Dallas had this year to go to the NFC Championship at least, and maybe to the Super Bowl, with that expectation to lose in the first round to a Green Bay Packer team, the youngest team in the NFL, with a rookie, he a rookie first-year starter, but he been in the league 3 years, but first-year starter. I believe the expectations on the Dallas Cowboys, they had a worse year. We knew who we were the seventh game of the season. We knew we weren't going nowhere. 8th game of the season, we knew who we were. but the Dallas Cowboys expectations thought they was going to the Super Bowl, and they lost in the first round to the Green Bay Packers, Mike McCarthy's former team. With their
Yeah.
expectations so high in Jerry's world, I believe they had a worse season than us.
I have to agree with you. I mean, I'm a Packer fan, and they should be embarrassed. I mean, the Cowboys should be humiliated. I mean, we're basically an inferior team that we're just happy to be at the party. Thanks for the invitation to the party. Thank you so much. And we go in there and drill them, and they should be humiliated. And it's going to be a minute before they get over this one. I'll tell you that right now. Detroit, 24-23 in the most anticipated, more than likely matchup of the wild card weekend. Your thoughts on this matchup at Ford Field over the weekend, Stu?
We finally get a real playoff game. This was actually a competitive game. Both teams were making it pretty tough. Matthew Stafford, he balled out 367 yards, 2 TDs, no interceptions, but it wasn't enough to get it done. The last play of the game was, I felt like it was a pass interference. They didn't call it. You know, that's how football goes sometimes. And Detroit ended up squeaking out with a win, man. But that's how it is in the playoffs. One game and you're done. You're out of there. I picked the Rams to win. They didn't get it done. So Detroit is moving forward. And hats off to Detroit for finally winning the playoff game in a long, very, very, very long time.
Yeah, that game met expectation. It was exciting from beginning to end. It's unfortunate for the Rams because they did get robbed by a no PI call. It was very obvious what happened. But I mean, you're at Ford Field and all those crazy fans and beer cans are flying. You're like, I didn't see anything. Did you see anything, Mike? I didn't see anything. Caleb, your thoughts on the final score, 24-23 Lions?
Like you guys are saying, it was a great game start to finish. I feel like that whole LA Rams team balled out. Puka Nacua, I think he set the rookie record. Matt Stafford, like Stu said, over 300 plus passing yards. But Detroit got the gritty win, and that's what matters in the playoffs. And good job to them. But they're going to be a team to watch for, I feel like, to make it even to the Super Bowl.
Well, the Lions get another home game next week. They're going to host Philly or Tampa, depending on what happens in that particular game, as we are pre-recording on a Monday night. That game is underway. Aaron Too Tall Moore, are the Lions now, in your mind, a serious contender to make a run at the Super Bowl?
I think they're a dangerous team. A run to the Super Bowl in the NFC, I think that's going to be tough. They have some juggernauts to go through to do that. But to get that first win in Ford Field's playoff game, that's a great achievement from where they came from. And if they can get another playoff game, which they might if Tampa Bay wins, which is very possible, the way Eagles playing. But I don't think they're there yet to have a run to the Super Bowl, but I think they're on their way.
They are definitely on their way. I think they're building a team to contend with for the next 4 or 5 years. They're coming, that's for sure. If they're not going to get there this year, you can see it happening in the very near future. We're going to look at some NFL headlines. We're talking about C.J. Stroud earlier, and he goes out there and wins a playoff game as a rookie. Where do we rank C.J. Stroud, Stu, as a rookie quarterback winning a playoff game in your mind?
Man, he's definitely up there. As being a rookie, he balled out. He is truly the rookie of the year. He has exceeded all expectations. I see a bright future in this kid, man. He's just balling out on a whole nother level. And he has the right team around him. He has the right coaching around him. He has some winners around him. And he is undoubtedly the leader of that team. Sky's the limit for him. I wish him much success, and I hope that he can continue out playing at this high level going forward next year. And who knows, man, they may shock the world and be in the Super Bowl this year. Anything's possible because it's only one game and you're done. Sometimes the better team loses. So the Texans are really balling out, and I think that they put the world on notice, and they're not just a regular season team, good team, but they actually can get it done in the postseason and in dramatic fashion.
Nephew Caleb, where do we rank CJ Stroud and your thoughts as a rookie quarterback winning a playoff game?
I mean, in the league, I would say he's a top 5. You could even argue maybe top 3 quarterback right now. And he's really just been super consistent while he's on the field. He's balled out almost every single game. I like how he plays. And like you said, Stu, he has a super bright future. That team has a bright future. And if they don't make it, if they don't make it to the Super Bowl this year, they definitely have it coming for them, because CJ Stroud, I think, is the truth at that position for the Houston Texans.
Aaron Too Tall Moore, your thoughts on the young gun, CJ Stroud?
I love CJ Stroud. He's having one of the greatest, if not the rookie years as a quarterback. But I always say this. He got over the first hurdle of the NFL, but it's always a second push that comes when them defensive coordinators figure out what you like to do and they shut it down. Can you adjust? It's always about adjustments. The greats always learn how to adjust on everything.
Yeah.
They
I
know
totally agree.
Now, can he adjust? Because it's coming. When does it come? I don't know when it's coming, but it's coming. And they're going to find he's going to struggle a game, and defenses it's a copycat league. They're going to copy it. Now, can he adjust from that? I never rank a quarterback, no matter how good of a rookie season they have or what. I never put them on the top of the mountain until they come across and they start dissecting different defenses. When the defensive coordinators learn and know what you like to do, and they take it away. So he's having a great start out rookie year. As long as he keep putting in the work and keep studying, I think he's going to be okay. I see why he wouldn't be, but it's coming. And can he adjust it? That's the question.
Well, I totally agree with you. He puts you in mind of another sensational rookie that went on to have a great career back in 1983. His name is Dan Marino. And no one could figure Dan Marino out until he walked out the door and said, guys, I'm done. It's been nice playing with you. And so, yes, I totally agree with you, because these D coordinators are going to scheme him up, and he's going to have to prove that he can overcome that. It's a great point, Aaron. There's no question about that. As we talk about quarterbacks, let's switch to the Miami Dolphins and Tua Tagovailoa. Do the Dolphins have a quarterback problem, Stu?
It's definitely some quarterback controversy. I don't think Tua is the undoubtedly starter right now. I think that they're going to have some deep conversations, and they're going to have to potentially either draft a rookie or bring in a vet to compete. It's definitely coming. I mean, Tua has the arm talent and stuff like that, but it's something that's not checking out. I don't know if it's mentally. I don't know if he's still messed up from that injury, that brain injury he had last year, or what's going on back there. But something is definitely not clicking with them and with Tua, and they're going to have to figure it out quick before McDaniels ends up on the hot seat.
I would totally agree with that. And I think when you look at Tua, and he had a couple of really serious head injuries last year, and you always get the feeling that he's kind of looking, or he's seeing ghosts back there sometimes, depending on the level of competition, and he just doesn't look comfortable to me in a lot of games. Caleb, your thoughts? Do the Dolphins have a quarterback problem?
Honestly, I think so. I feel like watching him play, I feel like he is a system quarterback. He has all this great talent around him. He has a great coach, and he gets all this hype because he does put up numbers. He does excel when games are easy, when you're supposed to win. But whenever times get tough and you need to step up to the plate and really get something done, he disappears. And I also think you can't just blame him either. I feel like that whole Dolphins organization, they need to think things through, make some changes if necessary. But the first thing to always do is check out if your quarterback is the problem.
And Aaron Moore, you mentioned it earlier in this conversation that you were not satisfied with Tua's play. Is he a problem for the Dolphins?
Yes, he's a problem, and I think he's that quarterback next year. Though I think, especially McDaniels come back, he's gonna have the opportunity to shut everybody up. I think they're gonna bring him back. I believe they already picked up the 5th-year option, but if he don't get it done, and what I mean get it done, I mean win in the playoffs. That's what I mean. Get to the playoffs, win in the playoffs, win some meaningful games. And see if you can continue to build from there. But I'm gonna say this: McDaniels and Tua, they on the same ship. If it don't work out with Tua, I think McDaniels out of there too. That's just what I believe.
The Dolphins are missing something. They have a good team. What they're missing, I don't know if it's McDaniels not giving them that extra impetus to go out there and take care of business. Is it Tua's inability to be consistent game in and game out? Is their defense good enough? There are questions that you have to ask about Miami as far as them being one of the big boys in the AFC. They look like one of the big dogs, but they don't always show up like big dogs. But I don't think they're that far away. I think the Dolphins are close to figuring something out. I'm going to ask this question out, and Aaron, you're probably going to want to answer this one first because you'll think maybe I'm making excuses, but I do think it's a question for good conversation, and that's this. Did the Lion game plant a seed of doubt in the psyche of Dallas Cowboys, knowing they really lost that game, but the referees gave it to them? Your thoughts, Aaron?
I don't know that that messed up the psyche of the Cowboys. I just believe that the Cowboys are who they are. I think they believe that they're better than what they are. They let their record get the best of them. But who did they win? Who did they beat? They average most of their wins was teams that are below 500. They beat an Eagles team that was limping, and they beat a Seattle team that's average. Everybody else that they played, the juggernauts like the 49ers, they destroyed them. So they allowed, I believe, Mark McCarthy is the number one corporate, I believe of this, that he allowed the hype to get to the team's head, and they wasn't prepared for the Green Bay game. Now, the Lions, did they get in their head? I don't think that gave doubt to the Cowboys. I just believe the Cowboys thought there was something that they're not. And maybe were they looking over the Packers? Maybe, I don't know, but I just believe the star on the helmet and the expectations that Jerry sends to the team. You can't tell me that this team is in the same conversation as Aikman and Emmett and Michael Irvin when they won all them Super Bowls. This is what Jerry Jones does. He's put this team saying that they are in the same level of these teams, and they haven't done anything. And I think that gets to the players' head, and they believe, I don't know, they believe they have an imaginary Super Bowl somewhere, and they're already great. But I don't think that one game planted a seed of doubt in the Cowboys. I just think they was always like that.
Well, I'll grant you this: the number one thing they did was they underestimated Green Bay. They're like, we got these Bamas. But number two, I think that when you look at that Lion game, even though Seattle gave them a game in Dallas, they were putting up a lot of points. I think the Lion game was the first time they may have realized that they may have some problems even at home once they got to the tournament. And it seemed to carry over against Green Bay because we know Green Bay's not that good. We already know that. And it just seemed like the Cowboys were not themselves. Caleb, your thoughts?
I mean, whenever you do like barely escape a loss like that, or you do lose by 1 or 2 points, you're supposed to put it behind you and move on to the next week.
Right.
And I feel like if it did put doubt in the Cowboys, that's their own fault. But and you should, as a professional athlete, you should be able to erase that from your mind and move on, play a good game of football, and just do what you do. But then again, like you were saying, Aaron, the Cowboys, they do get a lot of hype every single year, and I think that also gets to your head, and so they underestimate that first team, and they always get smacked. And I don't know why they don't learn from their mistakes, but it's always going to happen, and I don't see it stopping unless they change something in that organization.
Well, they needed to be like my man from the movie The Eraser with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Remember that movie? Caleb, you remember that? You're kind of young, you don't remember. Yeah. So Stu, a seed of doubt maybe in the psyche of the Cowboys. Your opinion, sir?
I'm gonna call it like I see it, man. The Cowboys are the Miami Dolphins of the NFC. We all know it. We joke about it. The only people that don't know it are the Cowboy fans. They're like the Chihuahua with the lion coat on. He thinks he's bigger than what he is, and he's not. He's not stopping with the big dogs. Poor from the coaching on down to the players, from the scouting department. And what I mean by this is playoff football, you can't have safeties pretending to be linebackers unless you got some Sean Taylors back there. The guys are too little. That's why they struggle stopping the run. You got safeties lining up the middle linebacker, and they can't stop. They can't stop anything. So bad scheme on their part. Dan Quinn is a great coordinator, but with the talent that he has as far as at the linebacker position, they're no match for any top running team. And that's their biggest flaw and their biggest weakness. They're soft. And it is what it is. We've seen it when Arizona punched them in the mouth, you know what the 49ers do to them when we play them, and so on and so forth. I just think the Cowboys need to get it together, need to humble themselves, even though they have this humble pie every year, but they seem to forget. That's the one thing they forget. They forget that they was humbled the year before, and they come out and say, let me sweep that under the rug. Nobody remember that. But they need to get it together, man, and be humble and really approach this in a different aspect and start with the linebacker core. You want to be the big dogs on the block, y'all need to get some beef on that defensive side of the ball to stop the run. Until they do that, they'll always be the laughing stock of the league.
Okay, now hold on. Wait a minute. You said humble. Dallas Cowboys, humble. Don't hold your breath on that one. All right, look, let's go to the I want to add some trivia here. We were talking about CJ Stroud being the youngest quarterback to ever win a playoff game. Who has the most wins ever? Trivia question for you three as a rookie quarterback.
How far are we going back?
As far back, this is as far back as you can go. I mean, all time.
Hey.
They go back. You can go back to the 60s,
rookie.
the 50s. You can go to the 90s. Take your pick.
I'm gonna go with Big Ben.
Okay, Big Ben. Aaron,
As a rookie,
as at the most ever wins
man.
as a rookie quarterback, a starting rookie quarterback.
Oh man, I'm gonna go with I know he was with the Jets. He had a heck of a rookie year. I mean, they won. I believe that's the year. Mark Sanchez.
Mark Sanchez. Okay, you're going with Mark Sanchez. Mark Sanchez is the answer to another trivia question. It's not the butt fumble. We'll get to that later. Caleb, who has the most wins ever as a rookie quarterback?
I think I'm gonna go with CJ Stroud.
Okay, that's a good one. In this particular case, not the answer. Stu actually got it right, but he's joined with another quarterback that tied him a few years later. Anybody care to guess who that could be?
Oh man,
Was it Dak?
It was Dak Prescott.
Oh,
2015. Yeah,
get him, Dak.
Yeah, you got it.
There you
You
go.
got it right. Ben Roethlisberger did it in 2004, and then in 2016 as a rookie starter, Dak tied him with 13 wins.
So what was that? What was that Jets team?
Now,
So that Jets team with Mark Sanchez. How many wins did they have?
I'm glad you asked. I think they had 11 wins or maybe 12, but the answer to the question that you gave out, Mark Sanchez, is to this question: who's the youngest? No, that's CJ. He actually. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Mark Sanchez was the last rookie to win a playoff game.
Okay.
So you were close, Aaron. You were in the neighborhood. Mark Sanchez is the answer to that question, the last rookie to win a playoff game. And I think he did commit the butt fumble in the postseason. Anyway, that being said, let's move on to the AFC divisional round matchups coming up as we get down to business this weekend. And we're looking at the Houston Texans traveling to Baltimore to take arguably the hottest team in football, the Baltimore Ravens. Stu, I'll let you take this one.
Man, that's gonna be a great game. I don't know, man. I'm just feeling this upset train. I think we all know the Ravens are the favorites, and they should be. Lamar's playing great football. The defense is playing great. Something about them Texans, man. I don't know if it's the 49er blood over there. You know, that offensive coordinator came from the Kyle Shanahan tree. That defense, the head coach, he came from the Kyle Shanahan tree, even though he was a great linebacker for the Texans, D'Amico Ryans. I'm going for the upset, man. I want to be alone on this, the lone wolf. I'm going for the Texans, man.
Listen, I can see it happen. I would not be shocked if they pull it off. Caleb, your thoughts on this matchup, Houston and Baltimore?
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a good game, but I have to take the Ravens on this one. I feel like they are the better team, better roster. But if they come in there playing around, which I don't think the Ravens will do, but if they do underestimate the Texans even a little bit, they will creep up and win this game. But I'm going to take the Ravens on this one.
Well, the Baltimore Ravens, in my opinion, are a team that should win this game. I think Lamar Jackson has a little bit of Dak Prescott in the postseason. Aaron Too Tall More, your thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, I like what Texans and what they've done this season, and CJ Stroud and we do, but I can't see Baltimore allowing Houston to come into their home and ruin and ruin their debut playoff game. I can't see it, man. I can't see Lamar. Got high expectations this year in the playoffs. Everybody wants to see what Lamar's going to do in the playoffs in the postseason. He knows that. I believe he has a chip on his shoulder. I believe this team has a chip on their shoulder too, with Lamar leading the pack. And I don't believe that the Texans come in and upset Ravens. I think the Ravens going to win that one.
That's going to be Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN and ABC, the Houston Texans and Baltimore Ravens. Then on Sunday at 6:30 on CBS, it's the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Stu, your thoughts on this one?
Well, if the Bills were ever going to get it done against the Chiefs, this is the year.
Mm-hmm.
They're the better team right now. We all know that Patrick Mahomes is the man at quarterback, but as far as team goes, Buffalo has the better team. They have the better receivers. They're playing better football. I believe. Defense, I'm gonna say, the Chiefs defense actually can ball. They actually been keeping them in them a lot of those games this year. But I'm going to go with Buffalo, man. I think that this is the year. If it's ever going to be a year that he beats Patrick Mahomes, this is the year. I'm going with Buffalo.
This is the year. If it's, I like that. If it's ever going to happen, this is the year. Caleb, your thoughts? Kansas City, Buffalo, Sunday at 6:30.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna take the Bills. They're at home. They've been playing complementary football. They've been running the ball well. Their defense has taken a few hits. There's a lot of second string, third strings in there, but they still have been playing pretty good football. But like y'all said, if the time is now, if Josh Allen wants to get a win versus Patrick Mahomes in the postseason, it's going to be this year, this Sunday. So I think I'm going to take the Bills.
Aaron Too Tall More, the Kansas City Chiefs had Buffalo at their place a couple of years ago and arguably one of the most epic playoff games ever witnessed. And now the Chiefs go to Buffalo's place. Your thoughts on this matchup?
Man, this is going to be a good one, too. This is going to be a good game. I do agree with Stu and Caleb said. If this is the year Buffalo gets past Kansas City, they got to do it this year. It's set up for them to do it. But I got to stay on my train. I've been spewing Kansas City Chiefs all year. I've been saying it all year to everyone. That Kansas City, either Kansas City or Baltimore was going to come out the AFC, and I'm gonna go with Kansas City.
And okay. I have to believe this is the year for Buffalo to at least get to the AFC Championship, at the very least, if not the Super Bowl. This is what they've been clamoring for now for the last 3 years. And if they're ever going to do it, it's got to be now. I'm going to go with Buffalo. I just think this is one of those times in the NFL where certain teams' destiny comes into play, and it just kind of looks like it's their time. We will see what happens. I'll tell you that. It's going to be a good game because Patrick Mahomes is going to bring his A game. We'll look at the NFC divisional round, and we've got the Green Bay Packers playing the San Francisco 49ers on Saturday at 8:15 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you right now, as a Packer fan, we have no business here. We are an inferior team that wasn't taken advantage of by the Cowboys. And now we're going to the most difficult place you could think of in the NFC to play a playoff game in San Francisco. And Stu, this is your team. Your thoughts on this matchup?
Oh man, this is going to be a great game. an even better game now that Aaron Jones is back. He is the key to your offense. You can't sleep on him. Everybody's 0-0. Well, if you won the first game, I guess you're 1-0. We haven't played a playoff game yet, so we're 0-0. It's a lot of things that go into this game. Is the bye week too long for us? Are we going to start off rusty? Are you guys warmed up, revved up? Jordan Love is playing good. You're running the ball. Your defense is stepping up. Um, you have nothing to lose, no pressure on the Green Bay Packers. It's a lot of things to take into consideration. And we all know what Eli did that year, coming into the wild card and winning the Super Bowl. So it's definitely going to be a big game. We definitely cannot sleep on Green Bay. They're coming in there to win. They have no pressure on them at all. All the pressure is going to be on the 49ers. And I think that it's going to be a game where we have to wait and find out. Of course, I'm taking my team, but I know I know it's not going to be easy. But I'm taking 49ers for the win.
Green Bay playing with house money again. They have no business here. They're supposed to be in Wisconsin. They're going to be out there in California, and they are the youngest team to ever hit the postseason. They don't even know they're supposed to be afraid. Caleb, your thoughts on this matchup?
I mean, I feel like like the 49ers should handle them pretty convincingly. But I have a weird feeling about a lot of these games. The upset is just lingering around this entire postseason. But I feel like the 49ers, they have to watch out. It's week to week, and the playoffs, it's one and done. And they better go out there and play grade A football, or else the Packers, they could definitely sneak up behind them and get this win. But I will take the 49ers because I feel like they are the better team in general.
Jordan Love is like a little kid that's been taken to King's Dominion. He rode the terror roller coaster, and he said, "Daddy, can we do it again?" "No, you don't get to play the Cowboys again. Just one time, son." So we got to play the San Francisco 49ers. This is not going to be the same deal. That's all I'm saying. Aaron Too Tall Boy, your thoughts on this matchup?
I think you said it great, Mo. I think the Green Bay Packers don't know that they supposed to be afraid, or they supposed to not be here. They it's like that when you're young, you believe that I'm inferior. I'm the man on the block. Nothing could happen to me. I think Matt LaFleur got them thinking like that and got them believing, it's us against the world now. We're the young kids. Nobody believes in us. It's us against the world. Let's shock the world, And that's a scary team. When you have that mentality and you go out playing like, okay, if the 49ers beat us, they beat us. Who cares? Right. We're not supposed to be here. It's like the coaches are loose. Coaches are calling plays that they're not afraid to call. Players are making Love gonna make throws that he's not afraid. If it get picked, it get picked. Hey, it's the 49ers. We ain't even supposed to be here. So when you play like that, you play loose, things start to happen. I think the 49ers need to come on their A game. And most importantly, Purdy needs to show that he is a franchise, quote unquote, quarterback and not a system quarterback that, some people like myself has been saying, but he has to show. Because I'm going to tell you one thing, if it gets in the shootout, now Aaron Love has the upper hand if it gets in the shootout. I'm gonna say Aaron Love has the upper hand if it gets in the shootout. But I believe with the talent that San Francisco has with the defense and the offensive players, I mean, they just have too many weapons, man. It's just too many weapons that they have on that side of the ball. I mean, they should take care of the Packers with no problem.
They should be able to, and I don't think Brock Purdy is the guy that has to do a whole lot of worrying. I mean, I do think he's a very good game manager. He's got so many weapons around him. He just needs to do the simple things, and everybody else will take care of the business for him. And the last game, and on Sunday, actually this will be the first of two, but the last NFC divisional round game will be either Philadelphia or Tampa Bay. They're going to go to Detroit right now as we're pre-recording this show. The Bucs are up 10-0. Stu, your thoughts on a potential matchup here, Philly, Tampa, at Detroit?
I call for the Tampa Bay to win this one, especially when I found out that Philly was not going to have their number one receiver, and there was some turmoil going there. Apparently, he erased all the Philadelphia Eagles stuff off his social media page, so I don't know mentally where the Philadelphia Eagles are moving forward, and that's something you don't want to have to be dealing with going into a playoff game. Not having your best weapon there, and maybe having some behind closed doors turmoil going on. But I see another thing about Tampa Bay. People got to understand, quiet as kept, Tampa Bay's defense has been showing up. They beat Carolina. Carolina's not a great team, but it was 9-0. Baker and them didn't do anything. It was the defense having them lay a goose egg. So I think that defense is remembering that year not too long ago when Brady and them won that Super Bowl, and they're starting to play like it now. They don't have Tom Brady as a quarterback. That's going to be the thing. But they still have those dogs on the outside and Mike Evans and company. So it's going to be interesting. And I think if Tampa Bay goes on and beats Philly, which I think they will, I think they'll give Detroit a run for their money because of that defense. And that Detroit coach scares me. He does things unnecessarily, like, you go get the 3-point and he wants to go for it. And sometimes it doesn't work. And it's the postseason. Sometimes you can't gamble like that in these big games. So I think that it'll be one of those two teams, Tampa Bay or Detroit, that moves forward to the NFC Championship game. And I'm looking forward to it.
Well, that's going to be on Sunday at 3 p.m. Like I said, the Lions will host this game. It's either going to be Philly or Tampa Bay. We'll see what happens. The Lions are certainly in the catbird seat with an opportunity to go to the NFC Championship. We're going to have to bounce out of here, guys, on that note, as we're coming towards the end of our time here on Bog Radio. Good morning, everybody, and thanks for hanging out with us and having a cup of coffee and talking NFL football. If you're coming in at the very end, you're like, I missed the show, you can listen to it in its entirety on Spotify. You can also catch the show on RadioQDX.com out of Lucama, North Carolina, and KCHF TV 11 in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and that's every Saturday night at 8 p.m. So for Caleb Lopez, Aaron Tuttle-Moore, and Antoine A.S. Stewart, I say good morning. Everyone have a blessed day. May the peace of Christ, guys, be with you and your families. God bless.